So this is a recap for live stream 315, and it was a rather difficult day. The market certainly posed its challenges after making new all-time highs, but fortunately, actually not but fortunately, fortunately we're able to pick up P&L out of today. So we had Fed Chair Powell speaking at 10 a.m. Eastern. I believe he was testifying in front of Congress. The NQ had a rather limited range of 163.75 points, which I still believe is the range for today at the moment. So the market certainly lacked of volatility after making new all-time highs. So we're still trading within at the time of making this recap, we're still trading within the 163.75 point range, high to low, including electronic trading hours. On NQ, over on ES, we had a range of 22 points, which is pretty narrow for ES. And over on gold, we had 25.8, which we're still trading within that range. So the market certainly posed its challenges. So we'll have a look at first gold. So on gold, we had a brief selling coming into the New York session. Overnight, we had a bit of a rally coming into Europe. Started posting these higher lows. Noticed that we were rejecting the VWAP here. Price came up, and I believe I actually took a short. Yes, I did take a short there. Off the VWAP, managed to take profit. Made a mistake through here. Eventually got it right. Took profit there. Over here. I think this might have been a short trade. May have been. But whatever the case, it certainly seems that didn't take profit there. If that was the case. Over here. Thought look like we had a short all the way down towards the VWAP. Price came down to the VWAPs, respected the VWAP, similar to what it did over here. Had a rejection there, held it as support, came up, held it as rejection. One of the most recent trades I did take was a long through here as the volatility and the volume fell off. Eventually the target was hit up at 44.4. Here when prices turned around, thought about making adjustments to the targets and stop. Decided to hold it in place. Didn't want to increase my accuracy to have a higher win rate, but poorer, larger wins than losses. So decided to hold. Eventually the target was hit there on gold. Over on NQ. Let's get out of this view. Over on NQ. Let's have a look at the trades we took. So the narrow range made trading rather difficult today. I've been using a mean reversion strategy. That's been working out for me. So over on NQ, had to wait quite a long time as a market trade within the 163 point range. Eventually prices did come down to these two blue lines, which are the 60-minute opening range from the overnight. Price came down, saw this candle, prices pulled back, went long, added to the position. Target was hit right there. Went long again. Now this trade. So we had the 200 period 1 minute. 200 period on the 1 minute chart that came down around 59. Around 459. The target was up at 67.50. So price came up, went as high as 62.75. Thought definitely price would come and get to my target of the 67.50. Well, it did not. I held a position until I was eventually stopped out, which in hindsight is not great considering the fact that price came within about 7-ish points, more 5 to be honest, points off target, but decided to dogmatically follow the plan. Was stopped out there to my disappointment, taking me negative on the day. Went long here, held a position, eventually took the position off there for profits. Through here, I was trying to take a trades off this 60-minute opening range high. and I was using very tight stops. I didn't use the designated stops because the designated stop would be down here, and as you can see, down at the 402s, at no point did we get there. So if I use a designated stop as designed, would not have lost, but instead came back, took it off for a loss, went long again, took it off again for a loss, went long again, took it off again. So took a series of unnecessary losses here. Didn't completely follow the plan. I think the accumulated losses from earlier was playing a part psychologically, because the goal was to come down, post a bullish candle, take a long, designated stop, designated target, and allow the trade to work. Didn't do that. After which, did have a long trade through here. Target was hit. That was pretty much it for the trades over on NQ. More recently, had a trade over on ES. You can see here, due to the lack of volume, it's not a great chart to look at. It looks really choppy in terms of the candles. You can see here, went long again off this 60-minute opening range high. Price turned around, was stopped out, went long again, added to the position. Came down, I believe it was stopped out there. Went long again. Went long through here. Seems I took profits right there. Yep, went long, took profits right there. Long again, added to the position, stopped out, long again. Added to the position, stopped out again. This was very frustrating because it was similar to what happened over on NQ. Stopped out there. I think I went short by mistake here. I believe I went short by mistake. Got out of the position. Eventually went long for a designated setup right here. Yep, so what happened was I went long and I eventually got out of the position because it wasn't the correct position to be in. So went long, held a position to the designated target up at 49. Had to be in a position for a long time. This was a designated trade, so I was in the trade for over an hour. This trade, but eventually went and hit the target at 49. As you can see, pretty good exit. The highs are at 49.25 right there. From there, price have pulled back, so pretty good exit there at 49. Oh, 49.75. Yep, 49.75. So 3 ticks higher, and as we can see, we're having some difficulties here in the market, but I'm no longer trading. We'll have a look at the trade. So these are pretty much the trades. This was that ES trade at the end there that paid the most. You can see there 61. We had the NQ trades. Had a few trades through here, smaller trades. Pretty much where we're getting chopped up over on the market. There were a couple of trades that I was trying to have smaller stops, but they weren't paying. I was ended up losing. Bigger trade here on gold. Another bigger okay trade on NQ. And of course, some small trades over on ES. A big loss on NQ. That was on that big sell-off. There's a really big loss there on NQ, so that's not great. But these things do happen. So a fairly big loss there on NQ, as you can see, 74.5. 24.5 on the gold. ES paid a big price there. Now, those are pretty much the trades. We did lose quite a bit on the equities as well. So over on the equities, don't believe I took any trades on, didn't take any trades over on Tesla. Tesla had news that they had falling European sales, didn't take any trades over there. But we can see here, we had a potential long looking for a move up to here. That wouldn't have hit target. So that would have been a bad trade. The short would have worked. These longs would have worked, and these shorts are still in play. So this would not have worked, and if I was in this position, it's highly unlikely I'd have taken these short. What I did take positions on was, took a trade on Nvidia, I think only the one. Went short, thought prices were coming back, despite the fact that we did gap up and we had this shareholder meeting on Nvidia. Went short, price came up, was stopped out, took a loss there as the market continued up. Semiconductors were pretty strong today. Had trades over on AMD. I do know that. We had some difficulties over on AMD. So AMD, Nvidia was breaking out to all-time highs as well. So that was certainly, should have been a lot more cautious than Nvidia. So AMD price came back, went short, stopped out. There was there was more shorts through here. So went short here, right there, thinking prices could come down towards that gap. Didn't happen. Went all the way to the upside, or stopped. Well, exited position early because of what I saw in Nvidia and AMD. They trade pretty similar in terms of how the market moves. Then decided to get back in short because it wasn't at my stop, and decided to get a full stop out, which it did. So those are pretty much just one trade. Over here, went short again. Thought this was a time. It was about lunchtime. Thought prices would come back in. Prices continued to rally. Was stopped out there. So that's AMD. Took a trade on Apple. This was successful. So over on Apple, took a short as prices came back in, and the target was hit. Didn't take long. That long would not have worked. This long would have worked, but wasn't trading at that point. At that point, I was focusing on the indices. Amazon, very costly. So we had a gap up on Amazon. Prices came back in, went long, stopped out, went long again, stopped out again. And after being stopped out twice on Amazon, I was done with this as an instrument. Trade pretty similar to the NQ. So 2 stop outs on Amazon. I was not happy at all. Palantir, I've not had a single win on Palantir since I've traded it. So there was a short through here which would have worked. You can see another short that would have worked as well. I came in, took the long, was stopped out. So that was it. It only took one trade for me to quit on Palantir. And finally on Coinbase, there was a short right there. That short would have worked. The long through here, I placed an order, but I canceled the order. I wasn't happy with my stock trading today, so I just canceled the order there. This trade would have hit target right there. So this trade would have hit target, but didn't take it. Now let's have a look at the trade performance. So I'm just going to bring the trade performance over. On the trade performance here, took a total of 31 trades between the futures and stocks. Quite a few trades. Overall, positive P&L. We can see here P&L, we're negative on NQ, we're positive on ES, and we were positive on gold. So that big loss on NQ certainly played its part. Over on the stocks, we can see we're only positive on Apple. There, we're negative on Nvidia, negative on AMD, negative on Amazon, and negative on Palantir. Didn't take any trades on coin. So stocks are not going that well for me, as you can see. One winner and quite a few losers. We can see on NQ, 4 winners, 5 losers, 44%. ES, despite only winning 2 trades and losing 6 trades, due to the average win being 36,250 and the average loss being 10,833, despite being only 25% accurate, we can see here that I was actually in fact profitable. Over on gold, on the other hand, we had a lot more winners, 5 winners, 1 losers, 83% accuracy, the average win being 17,100 and the average loss being 12,500. So we had a bigger average win and a very good accuracy, and so these are pretty much perfect metrics here. Really good accuracy, good average wins, certainly perfect in that sense. And that was pretty much all the trading for today, and these are the statistics overall across futures and the stocks. We had 39% win percentage, 12 winners, 19 losers. There we are, with the average wins being 21, the average losses being 11,991. So we'll come back tomorrow, see what the market brings. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Good luck trading. Have a great day.